If you have ever felt trapped in that horrible, horrible place where you are desperate for a break, you are absolutely bone tired, but you are terrified of the impact that that break is going to have on your business. So you have been putting it off and pushing and pushing and pushing despite needing a break. Well, you are in the right place because today I am talking about this is what I would do if I needed a recharge and I didn't want to ghost my business. This is something I am intimately familiar with because I'm the person who didn't take the break. I kept pushing and pushing and thinking, oh, maybe if I just take a long weekend, that will fix things. And it didn't until I hit the point of complete burnout, where I was pretty much unable to work for more than 4 months and took another 6 months to come back out of that and be properly back to my game 100%. So I'm going to share some strategies with you if you are tired, if you are just so damn tired, because it's a horrible way to be. And it means that you are not in your best self. You are not serving the best. You're not giving the best to your business, probably to the people in your life, and absolutely not giving yourself the best. So if you're a creator who's tired, stick with me. I'm going to tell you some strategies and some ways that I think might help you go, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to actually take a break. Because the first thing is that you need to look after yourself first. If you are running your own business, especially if it is a creative business that revolves around you sharing your gifts, your information, coaching people, showing up for people, and being there for people, you have to put yourself first. This is an absolutely oxygen mask on first situation. And creative businesses can take a bigger toll, especially than many jobs, because we are the business. We are carrying all of the jobs on our back. We are doing everything. And whether you have a team or whether you're doing it on your own, if you're doing it on your own, you're wearing all the hats in your business, every single one of them. And if you don't know how to do something, then you have to learn how to do it. And if you have a team, then as well as doing your own work, you are managing that mental load of managing a team as well, which can be a lot harder than you realize, because you're having to make sure that you've got work for other people to do and then manage that work and then check that work potentially, as well as do your own work. And it can be a lot. Add in launches and add in all of the other things that go along with being a digital product creator. It is no wonder that burnout is really prevalent. And it's no wonder that there are so many people who do this for a year or two or three and then have this flash in the pan success and then they disappear and we wonder what's happened to them. Or people that will do it for a while and then they just completely burn out and then come back. And I'm all about creating sustainable businesses. So I want to help you not get to that point. I want to help you create a business that is here not just for a few years, but for 10 years, 20 years, however long that you want to keep doing this, to create something that's going to help give you the freedom and the joy that you want in your life and give you a way to keep doing it. Super, super important. So firstly, if you've got to that point, please don't feel like you've failed. Don't feel like you haven't done enough. Feeling like you haven't done enough or you haven't done the right things is often what can get you to that point in the first place, especially if you are juggling multiple other things in your life. That not enoughness is 100% not true. It's always got this feeling like you've got to be doing more or better, and you will be constantly bombarded with messages from different email lists, from YouTube, from Facebook, from Instagram, everywhere. It's people sharing their strategies and the tips. And if you're not doing this one thing, you know, your business is going to be successful. There's a lot of that pervasive kind of mindset in a lot of the marketing from programs. I remember someone in my membership last year coming to me when there was a very big launch happening around a membership program. And they were really worried that if they didn't join this membership program to help them grow their membership, they weren't going to be successful, because that was the type of underlying messages that was coming through in that launch. Like, you need this program if you're going to be a successful business. And none of that is true. You can be successful without any of it. Can some of it help you? Sure. But it is not some kind of make or break success. And it's so easy to get caught up in thinking, I've got to do this next thing. I've got to do that one strategy that someone said. Oh, someone else said, try this strategy. You know, we'll go to summits and things like that where there's 20 strategies and 20 different people will be sharing things that work for them. And it can just become so overwhelming. And it's no wonder that we feel like we're not doing enough and that we've got to do more and we've got to drop what we're doing and try and do another thing. So exhaustion, I'm on a mission, I think, to help people get out of that feeling like they're not doing enough. And 100% on a mission to help you feel like resting is not just okay, but needs to be something that you build in, because you can take a step back. You are running a business, I imagine, so that you can have freedom, so that you don't have to ask a boss for time off. You are the boss. You are the one who gets to decide how it is set up. And if you need a break, sometimes you just got to take a break. So option one, if you are at that breaking point, if you are absolutely exhausted or very close to getting to the point where you're like, if I keep pushing this, I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep doing it at all. You might just need to stop right now and take that break. Stop before you break. Stop before you get to the point where I did. And it didn't matter what I wanted to do. I was like, my body and brain was forcing me into rest. And I was just incapable of doing anything. I would just stare at the computer screen for hours and just not even do anything. And it was incredibly frustrating. So option one is just take the break now, like next week, like within a very, very short period of time. I mean, literally within the next few weeks, because if you are at breaking point, if you do not put that oxygen mask on, if you do not tend to yourself, give your brain a break, give your body a break, and give yourself a chance to recharge, there is the potential that the break may be more significant. But if you want to do that, you might be really worried. You might be like, I can't take a break. I've got this happening and this happening and this happening. And, you know, all these people need me and blah, blah, blah. And I promise you, the impact of you taking a break, if it's a few weeks or even a month off, is probably so much less than you have in your head. I was terrified to take time off. It's why I kept pushing and just doing long weekends, because I was like, yeah, but I need to, you know, generate income. I've got a team and I've got all these things happening. When you just take the break, you will be so surprised at how minimal the impact is in reality compared to what you are imagining the impact is going to be like. Not only will that time go incredibly fast, you might be like, man, a month is not even enough. But you know, the worst case scenario, the absolute worst case scenario, if you're running an ongoing program, someone might get cranky and they leave. Someone may ask for a refund, and I absolutely guarantee you it'll be way less people than you imagine. Maybe you are doing something where it's an ongoing project for a client, and maybe you are going to have to give them a refund or, you know, create a strategy or something like that to be able to either end that project, hand it off to someone else, or just say, look, I'm really sorry. Something has come up in my life and I need to step back for, you know, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever it is. Can we press pause and come back to it? Those are the hard conversations that are so much less hard than you think. Often we are the ones that are setting the hard deadlines, and our clients may be more than willing and more than able to push things back. And again, the worst case scenario, maybe it is a case of, even if you've already done some work of, you know, apologizing to the client, you know what, the client is probably going to be cranky, and that's okay, because your rest needs to be the priority. So think about what is the absolute worst case scenarios, and I can guarantee you it'll be a lot less than that. Yes, you may have to do a little bit of dealing with things in the meantime. Maybe if you are absolutely like just watching this and like, I don't know if I can even just do this for another day, maybe you need to just do this today or like the end of this week. Tie up a few loose ends, put on an autoresponder and just say, you know, due to some unforeseen circumstances, I'm going to be away until, you know, the end of May, whatever it is. Like, just do it, deal with the circumstances. They'll be way less bad than you can imagine. People are going to understand. They are going to probably be empathetic. You don't need to tell them all of the details and a big story. You can just step away. You can let your emails go unanswered. You know, maybe there's someone that can help you with the emails so that you can take them off your phone and off your devices. That is something I absolutely recommend when you are stepping away. Otherwise, it's just going to end up stressing you out more. But look at some strategies that you can put in place and make your rest the priority, because what's the worst case scenario? If you keep going and you break, that client is going to be disappointed anyway. Those members aren't going to have you around. Those emails aren't going to be responded to. So, making yourself the priority is really, really important. People are going to understand. And the ones that don't, you can just create a system or a strategy to deal with that. You can give people a refund. You can apologize. You will probably find that people are like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry that you were going through that. Yeah, of course, get back to me when you can. If you are running some kind of ongoing program, maybe there's someone that you can pay or ask to come in and do some teaching for you for that month. If you do like a live Q&A or something, there will probably be people in your world, and maybe they will be honored that you are asking, and you could say, hey, I need to take some time away. I'm really struggling. Is it possible that you could come in and take this class? Could you do a guest training on something? There are different things that you'll be able to do, and it's one of the amazing benefits about building up like networks, so that if this does happen, you will have people to call on. But even if you're unsure, like even if it's people you don't know that well, if you want to pay someone to be able to show up, you can set that up, and maybe that's a way where you can let members know that it'll be a light month and that you won't be around, but here is what will happen instead. Absolute worst case scenario, some of them may decide to cancel their membership. That is the worst case scenario. It is actually not that bad. When I just a little story about that, when in taking a break, I had a program that I was delivering as a year-long program that started in January, and when I had my full-on burnout kind of breakdown and realized I was not going to be able to do anything, I was about 8 or 9 weeks into a 52-week program. And I was like, oh, I'm going to have to give everyone a refund. That's super, super stressful. But what actually happened was so much less impactful than I thought it would be. When I realized this wasn't just me taking a couple of weeks break, because firstly I was like, hey, I'm just going to be taking a little rest. We'll catch back up soon. When I realized I wasn't going to be able to deliver it at all, I emailed everyone and I gave them 3 options. Option 1 was a complete refund. Like, I've delivered just a portion of this. I'm really sorry. You can, if you would like a refund, please request a refund. Option 2 was offering them to change to a different product, like to basically use that credit against another program. And I gave them some options of what they could choose from. And then option 3 was that they could keep the cost of that program in credit for anything that I offered in the next 12 months. I basically had like a gift certificate. Now, I was expecting pretty much everyone would ask for a refund. And I probably, had I not gone down that strategy of giving options, would have just given everyone a refund, and it would have had a much bigger impact than I thought. But there was only around a third of people that asked for a refund. Another third of people were happy to just change to another product, and the rest, well, not even the rest either took the credit. Some people used the credit, some didn't. Some people were like, you know what, I actually feel like I've already got my value from what you've already delivered. So don't worry about anything. I'm happy for you to keep the funds, and please recover soon. So there's always going to be options. And that's what I mean by, in your head, you can really sort of build it up to be this terrible worst case scenario that's going to crush you. And it may not actually be that bad. Now, option 2, let's assume that you are not at breaking point today, but you're getting close. You're getting those sort of symptoms where, work's making you crankier than it used to. Maybe you're just feeling less motivated. You're not feeling as excited to create content and to show up anymore. You're just sort of starting to get those niggling symptoms. Maybe you're getting a bit crankier with your friends and family, your partner, and it's just sort of feeling heavy. If you're at that point, that means you are definitely sort of on the way to things becoming worse if you don't address them. So you may need to plan a complete break. And maybe this is something you can do even if you're not at that point, just if you're like, I don't want to get to that point. I want to be fresh and sharp and, my creative energy flowing. So my suggestion is that you plan a complete break, but do it within the next 3 months. I did a survey in a Facebook group last year, a rather large Facebook group, and over 50% of people that responded had not taken a break in the last 12 months. Now that kind of not taking a break, and when I asked people at the Kajabi Sessions event on the Gold Coast last year, where I presented a session around burnout, there were people who had not taken a break in many years. 7 years, I think, was the most years that people had gone without taking a break. Now, that sort of pressure on yourself in the long term is really, really heavy, and you can keep pushing and pushing. But if you want to be at your creative best and showing up in the way that you want to, and also kind of honoring yourself, then breaks are essential. So I am going to suggest that if you're feeling the tiredness, or if you really want to sort of maintain where you're at, please book in a holiday, a vacation, take some time off away from your business. And I mean away from your business, not a little sneaky holiday. I've been so guilty of this in the past, going on holidays and working, just checking a few emails and ending up spending 3-4 hours a day easily working whilst I am on vacation. Now, sometimes that can be a great strategy. Sometimes that's what you want to do. You want to be able to have the freedom to work whilst you travel. But sometimes you need to just take a break away from everything. Clear your head, give yourself some space for thinking, some space for just enjoying and doing and being with your family, your friends, your loved ones, being just with yourself if you need that. So whilst I am a huge fan of, I'm a permanent on the road traveler, and I love being able to travel and work, sometimes you just got to put that aside. So that is what I'm suggesting, a total put work aside break. Now, I'm also going to suggest that you pick some dates and you block them off like a non-negotiable. I would love it if you put in the comments your actual dates that you're going to block off. I would feel so, so happy for you to do that, or even just send me a message and let me know what are the dates that you are going to block off for a switch off from work trip. Even if it's a week, 2 weeks would be amazing. But this is no emails, no social media, no nothing. Clear your calendar. And I would suggest you do it within the next 3 months, because otherwise there is a pretty high chance you will get to December and you'll be like, oh my God, I didn't even take a break all year. I just, took a couple of like half holiday, half breaks, and a long weekend. Like, book in some time to get away, to decompress, like remove your business from your life for a bit, because it will help you think clearer and it will help you stop feeling like you've got to respond to everything immediately. Just having that break can sometimes just change how you think about things. If you want to, you can do some light prep before you go if you have the capacity. It depends on where you're at right now. Maybe you could schedule a couple of emails to go out while you're away, schedule up a couple of social posts, and not even mention the fact that you're going away. Just quietly disappear. Maybe if there's something you can juggle around on the calendar. Definitely do not prep, do not plan to launch like the week after you get back or anything like that. Give yourself enough clear space, and please promise me, don't work during your break. Maybe once a week you could have a quick half-hour check-in to make sure that things aren't, completely burning down. But they are going to burn down way less than you think, if even at all. Like, you will be really surprised at how little of an impact that it will have and how quick that time will go. Put an autoresponder. Hey, I'm out of the office. I will be back on this date, so that if someone does contact you, they know what to expect. And also make sure you give yourself a soft landing when you get back. If you are putting an autoresponder on and saying, hey, I'm away for the next 2 weeks, I will be back, say, on Friday, the 9th of May, and I will respond to you then. If you get back on the 8th of May and you think that you're going to be responding to everything on the 9th of May, you are just going to drop yourself right back into stress zone. So don't tell anyone the actual date that you get back. Maybe say, hey, I'm back on the 15th, and then give yourself that soft landing time to get back into it, to check where things are at, to deal with anything kind of urgent or critical. And, we are not brain surgeons. There is nothing that urgent that is going to be that desperate that is going to impact someone so severely. It is going to be significant enough for you to stress about it while you are resting. Everything is solvable and fixable after, this is a simple business that we are doing in the scheme of things. So, fix anything, give yourself a soft landing time to get back into it, so that you are not sort of going from, oh, bliss land, I'm feeling so good, to bam, whoa, I'm so stressed. Like, you want to give yourself that time back in. Now, option 3 may be that you just have a period of maintenance mode for as long as that needs to be. So maybe taking an actual break away from your business. You're like, I really want to, and I would encourage it, but maybe you're just like, that is not going to happen, for whatever reason. So instead of taking a complete break, maybe you can move into maintenance mode for a while. Now, you may need to do this if there's stuff happening in your own life or with your own health. Maybe there's something going on in your family and you need to, put a lot of your energy and time into that. And, you don't have as much space for your business. There is a million reasons or things that could be going on. So for a period of time, you're like, you know what, I'm going to be okay with doing kind of the bare minimum, being like strategically minimalist about what you're doing in your business. Now, if you do go into this minimalist mode, now I have personally tried to do this in the past and failed, which is why I sort of advocate for the complete break. Personally, for me, I find it works better to actually switch off and not have that kind of, it's continually there in the background, because I have problems with boundaries. I would strongly recommend, if you were going into maintenance mode, put some very, very hard boundaries around how much time that you are going to work, so that the time that you are working, it is on the most important things. When you're in minimalist mode, it can feel easy to be like, oh my God, I've just spent the whole day working, but I didn't achieve anything, because you're being very floaty, because your brain is not on your business. Your brain is on whatever else is happening. So if you can give yourself like a couple of solid work blocks where you put yourself in the zone, you're very strategic about what you want to work on, and at the end of that time, you step away. I think that way is going to help you be able to separate between being able to give the right energy to whatever is happening in your life and your world, and to your business, if you're going to try and balance the two. Where it gets hard is where it gets cloudy. Anytime that it gets cloudy, it feels more draining, and it can feel like you're achieving less and doing less. So perhaps you might want to just work an hour or 2 hours a day. I did a live stream last week about what things to work on if you can only work an hour a day. You could do that as a day. You could do it as, a block of time, a couple of times a week. But making sure that you're moving on working on the things that are going to make the most difference. That is being seen, getting visibility, getting people onto your email list, creating value in your business, that is working on your digital offers. Maybe just in this period of time, it's just delivering. Maybe it is just the things that you need to do for the delivery part of your offers instead of actually creating things. Or it is making offers and selling, like doing things to help you get your business out there and generate revenue. So making sure that that is your priority, those three things and those three areas of your business, rather than things that busy work, the work that isn't going to make a difference. It is even more crucial when you're on minimalist mode to make sure that you're doing things to help your business continue to grow and continue to create revenue. Even if the revenue isn't huge because you don't have a lot of available capacity, is that you keep doing it, because all those little things really, really do move the needle in the long term. And this is where you have to ditch perfectionism. You have to just be like okay with minimum viable stuff. You can fix it later when you're out of minimalist mode. You can improve on it down the track. So stop tweaking, stop changing things 14 times, and just be like, all right, I'm going to be able to get it out there, and I'm going to go, you know what, this is done, and that is okay. I would like to just give you the suggestion that stepping away is a skill that I think we need to learn as business owners, because it is so easy to get caught in the trap of more and more and doing more and a new strategy and a new launch. And the worst thing that can happen, I'll just rest when. I'll just get this launch done. I'll just do this, evergreen email sequence. I'll just get this webinar out. I'll just schedule a month's worth of social media and then I'll step away. There's always going to be something that you can add to the I'll just do this then pile. And sometimes you might realize that you've been saying that for years without taking a break. And that is when the break is probably going to take you. So stepping away is a skill that is essential to creating a business that gives you the freedom that you want. We did not start this business. I'm talking for me, but I'm pretty sure I'm talking for you as well. You didn't start this to be chained to your business and to feel like you were working 14 times harder than you were in a job. I'm guessing you started this because you wanted the freedom, you wanted the flexibility. And if you are doing things that aren't allowing that to happen and you aren't taking enough time away, then you are going to get caught into that trap of feeling like your business is hard and your business is heavy, and maybe even getting to the point where you don't enjoy it as much. And I want you to love what you're doing. I want you to be able to, do the work that fulfills you and lights you up and is something that you can keep doing long into the future. So building in breaks has got to be part of that, so that you can keep looking after yourself and put your own mask on first. Get that oxygen mask on you, because if you are weak and if you are tired and if you are not able to do the things you want, you're not going to be able to help others, and you're putting your business and potentially your income at risk. A couple of other strategies and things to think about when you are building that business that supports you in the long term. So this is whether you have been going for a while or you are just starting, things to think about. There is a lot of people in this space who will suggest to just have one signature program, just one offer, that's it, no other offers. And I think that that is a bit of a trap that you can fall into, especially if you're someone that tends to go, I'll take a break when I do this and this and this and this. Multiple revenue streams, having income spread across multiple products, offers, areas of your business is going to give you more stability. And especially when you're able to create monthly recurring revenue, so you're not just relying on launches. The only thing that kept my business alive whilst I was in the burnout was the fact that I had digital products that continued to sell when I wasn't selling, because I had created SEO optimized content. All of my social media channels completely died except YouTube. YouTube and my blog was the thing that kept me going during that time. It kept people signing up to my email list. It kept them using my affiliate links and buying my products. And that is the revenue, and that is what I would really suggest making a focus going forward, rather than just building on social media. Social media, as soon as you stop posting, you will very quickly lose traction, and that can be why people are scared to take a break, because they don't want to lose that traction. If all of their income is derived around what they're doing every day on social, and lots of posts and lots of stories and lots of DMs and that kind of thing, if you stop doing that, that can put your income at risk. So I would suggest, spread yourself, create long-term digital assets that will keep working for you even when you are not working. Podcasts, YouTube videos, blog posts, things that can be found by search and things that people will continue watching. My YouTube channel is not even very big. It is not even very good, quite frankly, but it is the thing that kept working. The views kept coming. People kept clicking on the links. They kept coming through to my website, even though I didn't post for a while. And while all the social medias went, YouTube just didn't grow while I wasn't posting. Maybe a tiny little dip. But, even though there was months and months of not posting, it still kept working because I had already created a lot of videos and they kept working. It is a long-term game though, setting up things like that. It's not a strategy that will work immediately, which is why I think people are drawn to social media, because you can get some instant traction, but it's like sexy, quick, instant traction that disappears as soon as you stop it. Whereas some of those longer term things are things that will keep working when you're not, which is why I would definitely suggest to look into doing what you can there, to be setting up things like email sequences that will let people know about what you have, like what your offers are and how they can buy them, and ideally some sort of instant access on demand products that don't need your support. So no cohort courses, things that people can study on demand, resources, downloads, templates, etc. The other thing in terms of monthly recurring revenue that has been really fantastic for me as a revenue stream is affiliate income, and specifically affiliate income from an affiliate program that pays out monthly for the length of the time that someone stays a part of that program. So getting commission ongoing indefinitely into the future. That is incredibly sustainable. A lot of affiliate programs will pay out once and they'll pay a higher amount, which can be like, ooh, I just made a whole lot of money today. But where I've found the value is in affiliate programs that keep you keep earning from them month after month. So you do that work in the beginning and encourage people to sign up through you, and then you will keep getting paid for it down the track. It means that you can kind of have an idea about how much money is coming in, and it gives you that really nice sustainable base. So doing it across those three things, you don't need to do all of it, but making sure that you are doing things that will help your business in the long term as well as the short term is definitely something to consider as you grow and plan for your business, even if you are nowhere near burnout at this point. I am so grateful to past Sue, who kept doing all that stuff in the first year or two when, the income was in the hundreds and then maybe in the low thousands, because now it's in the tens of thousands because of 6 years of just doing it. And I'm not even that consistent. I would have bursts of, doing a heap of stuff and then maybe a bit of rest. Some people are better at doing it like, every week they put a video out. Whatever it is that you're doing, though, it takes time to get traction. So do bear that in mind. Just wanted to give you a final little pep talk before we end this today. If you're feeling tired, that is not your fault. It is normal. It is natural. Just have a look at what you have been doing in your life and business, and just, give yourself a pat on the back. You have a business. You have created digital assets, digital programs, and that is freaking fantastic. But if you want to keep doing this, and I so want you to keep doing this, you've got to look after yourself as well. And if you need to take a break, this is your permission slip to take a break. Just take the break, deal with it when you get back. It is not going to be as bad as you thought. And not only that, once you're back and you've had rest and you've recovered and you're in a better space, you'll probably be in a way better headspace to deal with anything that does come up while you are away. So please take the rest. It's so important. And I want you to feel good about yourself, what you're doing, and be in a happy and healthy place. Tomorrow on This Is What I Do, if we are going to be talking about big ideas. If you're an ideas person and you have lots of ideas, all the ideas, but you cannot work on all of them at once, because if you do, none of them will actually happen and you do not know which is the best idea to choose. Join me tomorrow as I will be sharing my strategies and a little spreadsheet that I've got to help you figure out which of your awesome ideas is the best idea that you should be working on. My name is Sue McLachlan from the Unicorn Advisory. I will talk to you again soon on another episode of This Is What I Do If. Bye for now.